hospital, and he had to grieve the loss of people who never existed. And it wrecked his life.
You just keep going. Alright. You got this and that and this and that and this and that.
A little this and that.
So yeah, I've been, dude, so you just asked me how long have I been playing Helldivers?
Yes.
Fucking 38 hours. And, dude, like I said, the other day I played for like 7.5 hours.
That's
just
awesome.
Straight, man.
Yeah, we're all dogging it.
It changes. If you don't, first of all, you need the game. Like, the game has to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, good, really fun. But second, you need people to play with.
For sure.
You need, like, people that are fun to play with. Like, I played with some people, and they're just not fun.
Right.
So I don't get anything out of it. And then I've got, like, a crew that I play with now.
That's what I was going to ask you.
And they're, like, really fun to play with.
Yeah.
And it changes everything.
It does,
It just
bro.
makes you, like, want to play more.
Bro.
Fascinating.
Yeah, isn't it weird, though? Mm-hmm. Same game. Dude, I used to, like, go really hard on it, man. And when you play with the same dudes every day, it makes it 10 times better. Because you can, like, anticipate, you know already, like, what role to assume and, like, where they're going to back you up. Dude, love that.
We were just talking about that the other day. It's like, yeah, you literally can, you can piggyback off of each other. And
Yeah, man.
know what's going on. All right, I got something to introduce to you. So, this is a story.
Okay.
And it's fucking trippy, and it's kind of about, you ever heard of Mr. Ballen?
No.
He's a guy, your wife actually might really enjoy this.
Okay.
He talks about, like, talks. Just caught myself because of food.
Yeah.
He talks about, like, scary stories.
Okay.
But real things, like shit that really happened.
Love that stuff, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
I found that like if I'm on like Adderall or something, that's when I'm like most.
No, like hyper into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a dopamine thing. I think girls, when they like it most, I think they have an inclination to dopamine, and I think that's what drives the curiosity toward that kind of stuff.
Sure. Which would make sense.
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. It's like this immediate. Because I know a lot of girls that like scary movies and shit.
Yeah.
I don't like scary movies by myself.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
No, I mean,
why would I put myself through?
Right.
It's
then you're like, I gotta go take a shit. I don't want to go to the bathroom by myself. The house is dark over there.
It's not that. It's the negative. It's not a positive emotion. A scary.
Not
movie.
at all. No.
I'm not. It's like I'm not getting anything positive out of it. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a movie that's thought-provoking and scary.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Sure.
But if there's no... Obviously, in the end, it's positive because they win or whatever.
Gotta fit, yeah.
But, like, I don't get any positive... It's like all negative, kind of.
It is.
Like the Black Mirror episode that your wife watched.
Yes.
And she's like, I can't do this.
Right.
That's what I get from watching scary movies. Most of them.
And
I'm
dude,
by myself. When I'm with somebody,
right.
It's fun.
It changes the dynamic for sure.
Yeah, it's a shared experience. We're like there to get, and it's not because I'm like scared.
Right.
It's just I'm not getting anything out. It's all negative stimuli.
I know what you mean. So now that drives a question for me is, so now if you had your choice between, let's say, like a scary movie of any sort, right?
Yeah.
And then a true story, like something out of reality, but is also like scary, fear-based, whatever, ghost, aliens, anything. Which would you gravitate towards more?
Doesn't matter.
No?
I guess true.
I was going to say the same thing.
Just because it happened in real life. I think everybody gravitates towards, like, based on a real story kind of shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if the other thing is, like, more interesting, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
There's some true stories that are, like, scary that are just kind of stupid.
Yeah, like lame.
Yeah, but, like, if it's like, really cool and really interesting and really happened, it's like the guy who, like, fucking cut his You know the guy who like
Oh, in the mountains where he got stuck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like that's not a scary story, but that's intense. That really
Horrifying.
happened.
Yeah.
48 hours or 40 something
Yeah,
hours.
I think it's 72 or whatever,
70,
but yeah.
That's nuts. Like
Crazy.
that's cool.
It's a good movie too.
Yeah. But then again, that wasn't a scary movie.
Right.
But yeah.
But could you imagine the fear that you would be feeling in that position in that moment?
And that's why we like. That's why we enjoy like scary movies and stuff. This guy actually talks about this. Is like that's why, because he does this for a living.
Right.
The reason why we enjoy like watching scary movies and scary things is because we are in a comfortable surrounding while we're watching this scary thing.
Makes
so we
sense.
don't have to worry about it. So we can engage. We can, because
Yep.
our brain can't tell the difference. Like our brains, when we watch a scary movie, our brains make us feel like we're actually there.
Yeah.
Like we can't, like if you hook our brains up, you can't tell the difference between us watching something scary and actually being in
Like
that
physically
same
going through it.
situation, which is very trippy
I didn't
in
know that.
itself. Yeah, it's a really strange thing, which goes to like the phenomenon of like of like psychedelics and DMT. It's like, did that really happen or did you imagine it? Well,
Yes.
guess what? Your brain can't tell the difference.
So it's like it really did happen.
So it happened no
Yeah.
matter what.
That's trippy as fuck.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, our brains are, dude, man, it's nuts. And dreams that we have and just shit like that, it's fucking wild. But
Absolutely.
anyway, so I'll play this for you.
All right.
It's a very spooky house.
Yeah.
Have you got a story that suits the surroundings?
I do. There's a story that I think is one of the best ones I've ever told. So I'm setting some pretty high stakes here. But for reference, I told this one live.
These are the ones that
last
scare
year
me,
in
though,
Texas,
like to the core.
To a sold out crowd at the Paramount Theater. And this story had a big reaction to it. Because the twist
It's
at the
not
end
really
is something
scary.
else.
No, okay.
And it's house themed. So
In 2004, there was this guy named Mitch who was going to a university in Louisiana. And he's a senior, and there's this girl in his class named Kayla, who's also a senior, and he just loves this girl. He wants to date her more than anything, and he's tried several times to woo her, but she's not that interested. She's kind of playing hard to get, but he could tell there was something there. Maybe she likes him, and eventually she does kind of acquiesce and say, okay, let's go on a date, and they hit it off. Mitch and Kayla hit it off. They're an item, and they end up graduating. And after graduation, they get married. And by 2006, Mitch and Kayla have bought their actual, white picket fence dream home in Louisiana. And, life was great. They loved their careers. Both of them were very intentional about spending time together on the weekends and really making, their time together as a couple very important. And then by 2007, so they've lived in this new home for a year now. They welcome their first child, their daughter. And then 2 years after that, which puts us in 2009, they have their son. And then they're done at that point. They got their girl, they got their boy. And it's like life couldn't be better. Mitch loves his job. His wife loves her job. They had this thing where every morning the dad would sneak into the kids' bedroom and he'd like spook them to wake them up, as a playful thing. And they always had, family game nights on the weekend. And the Mitch and Kayla made a point to still have those romantic dates, anytime they could. They always got babysitters to spend time together. So this is like it's the American dream in many ways. You have this young family living
High
the dream.
school sweetheart, white picket fence.
That's the idea.
2.5 kids, dog.
That's it. So it's 2009, and Mitch is at this little dream home, and he's watching football. He's sitting on the couch watching football, and it's just like any other day. And as he's watching the game, there's this lamp that's in the back right corner of the room. This nondescript, target lamp. It's a red lamp, and Mitch, he's seen this lamp a million times. It's in his house, and he's watching football. But at some point, he notices something odd about this lamp, and he looks over at it, and for some reason, the lamp itself, not the light bulb, but the actual physical lamp, like the base, was blurry. The rest of the room is in focus. There's plenty of light in the room, but the lamp is blurry. And so Mitch, he's looking at the lamp. He's rubbing his eyes to see if there's something in his eyes, but still the lamp is blurry. He goes back to the TV. not blurry. Mitch has good eyesight. This doesn't make any sense. And so Mitch finally, he's worried about this. Is there something wrong with me? And he stands up and he walks over to the lamp. And as soon as he gets up to it, it's still blurry. And he touches it, still blurry. And he's like, okay, I don't know what this is about. But he does the typical, kind of dude reaction, like, whatever.
The male denial of medical problems.
Yeah, it's like, I'm probably having a stroke, but whatever. So he turns around and he goes back to the couch and just does his best to ignore the still blurry lamp. And so he's watching the game, he's glancing periodically, but he's mostly focused on the game. And then at some point, towards the end of the football game, the lamp changes. It remains blurry, but out of the corner of his eye, he sees it moving around and he looks, and the lamp, with having not been no one's touched the lamp at this point, but the lamp is now turned upside down, which is, it's not possible. It's flipped upside down and now it's blurry. And so now Mitch he's looking at this lamp thinking, okay, huge problems here. There's something wrong. I might very well be having some sort of medical emergency. But for some reason that Mitch just could not place, he couldn't bring himself to call the doctor. I mean, this is a situation where you call the doctor. There's something wrong. And he knew it, but he didn't do it. Instead, he just could not stop looking at this lamp. He's not watching the TV. He's just staring at this upside down blurry lamp. And at some point that day, or that evening, his wife Kayla and his 2 kids, they come home. And the second she comes in, Mitch kind of breaks out of his fixation, and he thinks, I should tell Kayla about this lamp. I'm having a medical emergency. I should tell her. But again, he doesn't. And in fact, he quickly thinks to himself, I can't tell her. I'm going to pretend this didn't happen. And he kind of forgets about the lamp, and he goes and he sees his wife and his kids, and it's a normal night. She is none the wiser that he spent the day staring at a lamp that's blurry and upside down. And, when Kayla came in, the lamp was not blurry and upside down. She's not experiencing this. So that night, regular night, they put the kids to bed, and, Kayla and Mitch, they go to bed too. But then after Kayla had fallen asleep, Mitch is wide awake. He can't sleep. And there's something telling him to go down and look at that lamp. And so Mitch gets up and he sneaks downstairs and he goes to the couch, and, the light is not even on at this point, but even in the darkness, he can tell it's still blurry, it's still upside down. And he sits on the couch and he just stares at the lamp. And all night, Mitch sits on this couch and stares at this lamp in absolute silence. And then in the morning, Kayla gets up, she comes down. It's during the week, so it's a work day. She comes down and she finds Mitch on the couch, and she's like, what are you doing? And he kind of breaks out of it, and he's like, oh, I wasn't feeling well last night. He's lying to her. I wasn't feeling well, so I came down here. And in fact, he tells her, you know what, I feel so sick, I can't go to work today. And Kayla's like, you've never taken a day off from work, ever. And you don't seem sick to me. Wait, what's happening? And he's like, no, I just not feeling up for it. And so Kayla's like, okay. But she's thinking there's a red flag here, but she doesn't know what it is. And so ultimately, Kayla and the kids, they leave for the day. And Mitch stays home, and he just stares at this lamp all day. He is staring at this lamp. And by the evening, when Kayla comes home, this is like 8-10 hours later, when she walks in the house, all the lights are still off, except for the red lamp. And she sees her husband, who now is not breaking out of his trance. He's sitting on the couch, and he is absolutely focused on this lamp. And when she walks in, she's like, what's going on with you? No reaction. Mitch is fully locked in on this lamp. He's completely unresponsive. And so Kayla is like putting it together that, oh my God, something's obviously wrong. And so she grabs the phone and she calls the doctor to be like, what do I do about this? And she's at the same time kind of yelling for Mitch on the couch. There's no reaction. She's shooing her kids away. Go upstairs. We'll deal with this. And so as this is happening, Mitch, who can kind of tell, his wife is on the phone with the doctor, eventually he can't even hear her anymore. She disappears completely. And he's left with just this lamp. And the lamp begins to change for a second time. Now, in addition to being upside down and blurry, the lamp begins to grow inside the room. And so as it's growing, it's taking up more and more of his field of vision until this lamp is so big, he now is basically consumed by the lamp. And it's at this point that he begins to feel this blinding pain in his head, and he doesn't know where it's coming from. And then he hears a ringing in his ears, and then all he hears is just people screaming everywhere. And it's total darkness. The lamp is gone. And then he opens his eyes and he looks around, and he's surrounded by a sea of people that are all looking at him, and he's on the ground. It's broad daylight. He's not at his house anymore. And he's looking around at this crowd of what looks like college kids. and he's looking for his wife and his kids. He can't see them, and he stands up, and he doesn't know what's going on. And as he's yelling for his wife and kids, Kayla, he's yelling for his wife and kids, a police officer comes charging through the circle, and he grabs Mitch, and without saying anything, he lifts him up, a grown man, and just runs with him to his police car. And the whole time, Mitch is like, I don't know what's going on here. His head's still like, he's still got pain in his head. He has no idea where he is physically. He has no idea where he is. And he gets thrown in the back of this police car. Obviously, there's some emergency happening right now. And the cop, without saying anything, he hops in the driver's seat, and they start speeding down the road. And as they're driving, Mitch just starts saying, "Where's my wife and kids? What's going on?" And the police officer was like, "Sir, you just hit your head. I'm bringing you to the hospital." And so ultimately, the police officer brings Mitch to the hospital, and they end up, he gets treated by the doctors and nurses. But he discovers what's actually happened. Mitch was a senior in college, and he got tackled by a football player, and he hit his head on the ground, and he was unconscious for a fraction of a second, like 10 seconds or something. And in those 10 seconds, his brain constructed an entire life with a wife, with kids, with the white picket fence, the house. None of it existed. He never had a wife. He never had his kids. They're not real. And so he realized what had happened when he was at the hospital. And he had to grieve the loss of people who never existed, and it wrecked his life. He did this huge Reddit post, this Ask Me Anything, where he tried to tell people what it's like to have basically lost your entire family who don't exist. And he said, to this day, he still has dreams where his little son will come running around the corner, and he's perpetually 5 years old. And that was his life. And so it wrecked his life, and it never existed. It was just a figment of his imagination.
So trippy. Or did it really happen?
Pretty crazy, right?
Parallel universes?
Wow.
Who knows?
Have you reached out to this guy, given that you've
So
you've given this story so much attention?
Yeah.
And what's he like?
No, he doesn't want to talk about it. He did his AMA, and that's it.
I'm sure
The
he
dude wants to
doesn't talk about
disappear. He goes to therapy for this. I mean, he basically gave permission, but doesn't want to be a part of it. I mean, he's trying to cope.
And he'll be about our age now, something
Yeah.
maybe.
it. That's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, for him, I mean, how do you
you go about dealing with something like that? Because to other people, it's like, well, it never really happened, come on.
Right.
But for him, it was like years that in his brain was implanted an
Super
entire
real.
history, an entire
So
family.
trippy.
I mean, that's a real loss. In other news,
The only thing I can say in relation to that is, dude, I mean, I'm sure you've had it, like, where you wake up from a dream and it's, like, so real that you feel those emotions when you wake up.
That's where I'm getting at, is I think our brain, and there's another story too.
Okay.
So this goes with this. But yeah, we can have a little thing on this. I don't know what dreaming is.
Nor do I.
And it wouldn't surprise me if, because dude, if our brain, like I was saying this before, is like if our brain has the ability to create these worlds,
Yeah.
where we know it's real
Yep.
in our dream.
Yep.
You can't tell me that it's not real. You know what I mean?
I know
Like
exactly
in my
what you
dream,
mean.
no matter what happens, there's just no telling me that this isn't real. It's real.
Right.
I feel things. You pinch me.
Yes.
I pinch myself. I'm okay. I'm in reality.
Right.
Then again, who's to say I'm not in reality there? Maybe that's reality there.
A more true, pure form of reality.
A different one.
Yeah.
But like it's not this reality, so it's like it's so trippy. And my thing was always like if my brain has the ability to create that reality while I'm dreaming, then who's to say that like it's not creating this reality right here with better hardware and better software, like a
Yes.
machine kind of like a matrix kind of
100%.
thing. It really makes you think. And then you have situations of people like this that live entire lives with people. It's like it's so fascinating.
Incredibly
There's
fascinating.
so many different like avenues my brain wants to go down. Like it's like one, parallel universes maybe.
Right.
Maybe because like each of us, maybe like each choice we make, that creates a stream of parallel universes where
Yes.
potential realities can happen, and then we leave this one and that, but that's also one that we could have, and then so maybe he jumped into like a parallel universe or whatever the fuck, and he used that for a little bit, and then and whoever was running that, like him in that one, you know, went to sleep for a little bit.
Right.
You know, and he took over. Yeah, and then so he took over that one, and then he like woke up back into his.
Yeah.
And it just really makes you question like what the fuck is all of this?
Dude,
You know,
yes.
what is going on? And it was so intense that like it ruined his life.
It overpowered the rest of whatever was going on. Yeah.
Like his actual family,
Bro.
is like not this. It doesn't mean anything really to him. You know, it's
Yeah.
like his family in his potential dream
Right.
means more to him and his kids than. And they're haunting him. Anytime
Right,
he
right,
goes
right.
to sleep, he has a
Bro.
dream of his fucking 5-year-old kid.
That's intense.
It's like, yo, dude, like, what the fuck are we in, man? What
Right,
is this?
right.
It's crazy.
Or how about this? Like, bro, what if it actually was all in this reality and like, you know, it's too much to handle, so they're just like, nah, bro, it didn't happen. Like, we don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Like,
Much
yeah,
less likely, but you know.
dude, it's interesting. I don't know what to make of it. To me, it's, dude, it's so fascinating because it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I've seen some crazy shit. And with DMT, you have these entities that come down and they just edit your fucking reality. And they come down and they turn your apartment into, like, just gigantic fucking gladiator stadiums. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Like, are you fucking, where am I? You know, like, this is
Right.
insane.
I've never experienced it, but dude, I could only imagine how.
It just makes you question, like, if this thing can edit my reality, what is this reality?
Right.
You know, how feeble is this reality?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
how like.
Just one small little tweak, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, fucking.
Yeah. Very strange. All right, next
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Do you know who Paul Evans is?
No.
So Paul Evans is one of the directors of a big leisure company out in Dubai. He came on the podcast about 4 years ago. He wrote a book called When I Woke Up. So Paul was a party boy, professional party boy, after my own heart. And he was involved in the Arab Spring twice. I think he was in Egypt while there were all of the revolts that were going on. And he was partying and he was kind of sort of fast and loose with his risks and stuff. And he ended up in Dubai with pancreatitis. And it was so bad. This is from drinking and partying and stuff like that. His pancreatitis was so bad that he was put into an induced coma.
Oh,
Yikes.
nice.
While he was in the induced coma,
Yeah, that's not good.
he lived an entire life in Singapore. He could tell you the brand of toothpaste that he used every morning, the colors of the ties that he needed to wear. He could tell you the route that he drove to work.
Incredibly
Among his work,
detailed.
He was part of a team that was building out a new virtual reality
Oh,
game.
this is so
So
good.
he would enter a virtual reality game in this thing, and he could tell you everything, every single detail.
This story is better than the other. It's kind of funny because it's like, this guy has a story
Yeah.
that he just thought of.
Just like pulled it out.
Just remembered, whereas this guy tells stories for a living,
right.
and he's like, this is my best story, and it was an epic story.
It was great.
But like, it's so funny how just like, to me, this story's like even better, and I'm
Right.
like, dude, you just like randomly pulled this out of your fucking head.
That's pretty wild.
But this guy wrote a book and everything. Like,
He's got to have some gems in there, bro. If he can just pop
he's
that
a
out.
really smart guy. He's got like, you see the scenery and shit.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
It's in. People are investing some serious money into like his podcast and all of this shit.
That's dope.
He's
Yeah, it looks like he's in like an old church or something.
yeah. Well, it's for this guy. They made everything to be made for, like.
For that guest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, I got to get my perfect aminos in.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure they asked him, choose which scenery you want, and he has like 5 different guests. It was the first ever like 3D, I don't remember what it is, but it's like IMAX kind of like shot.
Okay.
It's like it's like the future of podcasting,
Yeah.
basically. And it's beautiful. It's really nice. Like
is.
on my TV, it looks incredible.
I'm sure.
I'm fascinated to see what comes up. Like
Right.
what's next. So far, I haven't finished this at all. I
Okay.
probably got like another 10 minutes so far.
Yep.
And then I had to go and like do shit. best. It's so great though. It's
That's
so
fire.
incredible. This guy's a great storyteller. He's great at questioning people. I'll stop. I'll shut the fuck up. Let me back up a little bit.
You're chill,
was-
bro. I like it.
ended up in Egypt, woke up. Paul Evans, low or heading.
You were talking about me, or you said that I'm a
Yes.
reader.
Yep.
I'm like, no, I'm not really a reader. This guy's a reader.
Okay.
So like,
50%
he's
off.
got a lot of like knowledge. I feel like honestly, dude.
What up?
Just to go on a side note,
Yeah.
I feel like, and actually, there's some support from like a guy that actually reads a lot of books.
Yep.
He said, don't read, like, he said, if you don't like the book, don't fucking read it. Like, if you get into however far and you don't enjoy it,
Yep. Just put it down.
fucking don't read it. Because it, like, I've always thought that, like, I don't do things I don't enjoy. Like, learning, I don't learn things I don't enjoy. I don't fucking...
Makes sense.
Unless I have to.
Sure,
You know?
right.
And even then, it fucking sucks. But it's like, unless I need to. But if it's useful in reality, I'm
Yes.
going to like it probably.
Same.
You know, so like that doesn't really count. But my point is, like, with a lot of books, 90% of it is unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, there's maybe 80% of it.
No,
is
I know
just
what you mean.
A waste of fucking time.
Right.
So, to me, it's like, why am I wasting my time? First of all, I'd rather do an audiobook because I like imagining things, you know, like with my eyes closed and stuff like that.
Yes.
But there is something to be said about like reading it yourself, because then you get your own voice, and that's a whole different thing. But still, it's just like, movies are great, so much
For sure.
better. But at the end of the day, you only have so much you only have so much accessible room in your brain. Like,
Right.
it's been said that you have
like
that
unlimited.
kind of. It's been said that you can access everything that you've ever like experienced.
Right.
But you just need the ability to do that.
I was gonna say, how common is that though?
It's
you know?
not common at all. So it's like, you only get so much viable space. To me, I'm sure we have unlimited, but like, to me, I'm not trying to waste space just in
Right.
case.
Right.
And I'm not trying to waste time also.
And even just to get back there to like be able to access it again, you know what I mean? Because obviously, I'm sure it goes in like an order of preference or importance. Or, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. It's trippy, man.
It
It's just
is
a
wild.
weird thing. But this guy's pretty good at recalling information. Like, this was very slick the way that he did this, and I love it because
yeah.
it's anyway. So here's his story. A rebuttal.
Do you know
yeah?
who Paul Evans is?
No.
So Paul Evans is one of the directors of a big leisure company out in Dubai. He came on the podcast about 4 years ago. He wrote a book called When I Woke Up. So Paul was a party boy, professional party boy, after my own heart. And he was involved in the Arab Spring twice. I think he was in Egypt while there were all of the revolts that were going on. And he was partying, and he was kind of sort of fast and loose with his risks and stuff. And he ended up in Dubai with pancreatitis. And it was so bad. This is from drinking and partying and stuff like that. His pancreatitis was so bad that he was put into an induced coma.
Oh, wow.
While he was in the induced coma, he lived an entire life in Singapore.
Boy.
He could tell you the brand of toothpaste that he used every morning, the colors of the ties that he needed to wear. He could tell you the route that he drove to work. And while he was at work, he was part of a team that was building out a new virtual reality game. So he would enter a virtual reality game in this thing, and he could tell you everything, every single detail. It's in his book, and tell you all of the details about how his life unfolded in Singapore, the car that he drove, where he went for dinner on an evening time. And this is while he's in this induced coma. So his family goes out to see him in the real world, and they're looking at him in the hospital bed. Now, in his life in Singapore, his father dies. So he buries his father in his dream world. And in the real world, his father is looking at his son laid in his hospital bed. And there was one day where his dad was looking at him, and he could see that his son was crying. His son was weeping whilst in a coma.
Oh.
They think that that was his actual father watching real Paul cry because the dream version of him was burying his father
Oh my
in the
gosh.
dream world.
It's like some Matrix stuff going on.
And then he continues to work. He's got his life. He goes through. There's some complications with the virtual reality world that he's getting into, and they're really trying to push the limits of what they can do with this technology. And one day he gets trapped inside the simulation. So this is like Inception. This is like he's two levels
that's
deep
the
now.
Okay, this is
Yes.
dream within
So he's
dream.
he's two levels deep, and he's trapped inside, and all of the people outside of in the dream, outside of the virtual reality world, are trying to get him out. And he says it was like being inside of a membrane, and he could feel his hands. He was sort of running his hands across this membrane, trying to find a way.
Really quick, membrane, that's a very common thread in DMT.
Oh,
Is
really?
that you're in some kind of a membrane. Like Terrence McKenna would always call it like a membrane.
Really?
Or like you're underground, you're in something.
Okay.
All right, I'll stop right
Yeah.
way to get out. And he said this went on for days. He was locked inside of this thing for days. And then eventually he managed to find a tiny little seam, a crease, and he could sort of pull his hands through. And when he did that, he woke up from his coma in the real world. But the weird thing, and I spoke to him about this, I was like, you do know that you're going to have to bury your dad twice.
Ouch.
You know, you lost. So this is the opposite story of what you've just told.
Yeah.
This is a guy who lost a person who they really had
Yeah.
in a dream and then came back to find them still alive.
Wow.
But you're now going to have to go through this again at some point. His father's older than him, and he's going to have to go through that. And this near-death experience, is it a way that the brain, I asked him a lot about the science behind this, which I get, it's kind of like a near-death, it's like an NDE kind of thing, right? It seems like, at least for the induced coma, and maybe for head trauma stuff as well, it's the brain trying to cope and protect what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that
kind of.
story of your man,
I can see it.
does not surprise me. It seems completely unreal, and yet I've got like first-hand evidence of a guy that went
Yeah,
through
it's
the
nuts.
same thing. It's wild.
Dude.
It's trippy. Dreams are nuts.
See, I had a book when I was younger because I got really into the whole dream world for a while. I was dating this girl who, like, she just happened to know things. She must have looked into it before we met or whatever, yada yada. But like, I would like tell her, because when I was younger, I dreamed a lot more frequently, and I would like tell her the things that would happen in my dreams because, as you know, we've all felt it. They just seem so real, like the emotions,
are
like you're
real.
saying. Yeah, right. It's
not that they seem real,
Dude's
it's they are
crying
real.
in a coma in a dream. He's actually
crying in
crying
real life.
here, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
real.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And it's just interesting because there's a lot of like research and work that have been done around it, and I don't know if it's true or what. I don't think any of us really know ultimately, but like they say that they're interpretable.
Yeah.
And they correlate to something else that's going on in in this world,
Yeah.
And
As much as you can interpret something.
right.
For sure, you can interpret a lot about dreams, though. That's
yes.
That's for sure.
It's just so powerful though, man.
So she was good at interpreting your dreams.
Very good, very good. And
Yeah.
and I learned a lot from it, and I actually ended up buying a copy of the book. I ended up losing it in a move or whatever, but dude, it was insane the things that I learned from that book. It was so cool,
Yeah.
and so like thought-provoking and interesting. Like, dude, there's something going on there.
Oh yeah, well Freud said that, like, I think it was Freud said that, like, the dreams are like basically the what do you call it? Like the wants of your unconscious. It's like what you want,
Sure.
what you really want, what you subconsciously want. They come out in your dreams. So anything that you want to do in real life, that's
Yep.
probably going to happen in your dream. But I feel like there's way more to dreams than just that. There's like way more.
Absolutely.
I feel like there are levels to this shit, and that's just covering like the surface level, like even interpretation of dreams.
Yep.
I feel like there's like base level, and yeah, you could, that's what your subconscious is doing. But then I feel like there are lower levels that like you're going somewhere, and like it's deeper than just your brain having this experience, just like pre-rolling some
Right, like a movie or
clips.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's deeper than that. And I've talked about this with you also, is that like a lot of me feels that like our brains we're probably in this DMT realm, like tripping balls, talking maybe to entities or maybe to our ancestors or whatever, and our brains don't know how to relay that information, so it just creates some random story for us.
Which would make sense, yeah.
Because so instead of like giving us something that's impossible for us to understand and see and believe and
Yep.
know, it just gives us this video or this movie of, you know, me driving a car, doing something, flying around, but really we're like in this hyperdimensional place with these hyperdimensional beings, you know, back to source.
Word.
You know, like we're back to our homeland.
Yep.
And we're like regrouping and whatever and like recharging.
Yeah, rejuvenating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like we're talking shit to each other, you
Right.
know, but like if we remembered all of that, then again, like this game wouldn't be as fun. Like it wouldn't
For
feel
sure.
it wouldn't feel as real, you know, because then we wouldn't have the fear of death.
Yes.
So like to me, I feel like at the end of the day, if anything, like a lot of that, yeah, okay, but at the end of the day, I kind of feel like our brains are just making a lot of this up because just to compensate for the fact that it can't give us like the real truth of what's happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because you might fucking lose it, bro. You might jump off the deep end or...
Yeah, or it's like, again, it's like if we created a game that was so, we wanted to be so real, you know, we would have to make sure that we erased our memories.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't erase our memories, then anytime something got hard, we would just kill ourselves because we
Right.
know that we'd respawn
Reset.
back. So like that, I feel like that's a really real element to that.
I would agree.
It's like our brains already know, okay, well, we can't let them remember.
Right.
So we're
It'll
gonna
ruin the whole thing.
we're gonna give them this other thing, you know, this other story.
Yeah.
And I'm not like married to that idea, but it very much, there are a lot of things that point toward that. With the memory, DMT, even the memory with the DMT,
Word.
some things you just can't know. The moment you know them, you either wake up or you forget everything, or there are so many things that like
Yes.
it's like, oh, how convenient.
Yes.
You know, right when I got there, I fucking respawn all the way back to
Right.
point one, and it's like you can't know these things.
I know what you mean.
Like, you can only know them when you die. And then when you die, you're like, oh, of
Now
course.
what? Yeah, you motherfucker.
Fucking, we're playing a game.
Dude, I have for the longest time been on that same train of thought. I don't remember when or what it was, but I was like eating food one day. I was sitting outside. It was like a nice day. I'm eating like a sandwich or something, right?
Yeah, I'm just writing something down. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, you're chilling. And I drop. I'll never forget this part because it got very clear. You know, there's like some foggy parts, but also, you know, some parts that were just very, very clear.
Semen everywhere.
Oh, dude, in my eye, Jesus. No, but dude, so like, I dropped this tomato on the ground, and I'm sitting there finishing eating my sandwich. Well, as I'm eating my sandwich, of course, a few little, you know, it starts with like one ant, an ant comes over and he starts, you know, grubbing down on the food you just dropped on the floor. Then
Eating
a couple
your
more
semen.
come over. Yeah, dude, gobbling it up. But, dude, and I start to get this, like, feeling in my head of, like, to that ant, that is, like, their whole world, in
Yeah.
the moment at the least, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's their life-bringing nutrients, that's, you know, going to feed their children, help the colony, yada, 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 right?
Yeah.
But my question is, like, do they understand? Like, because I feel as though we don't understand a lot.
Right.
And it's similar to being like, you know, when we drop that tomato on the ground and it becomes a whole, like, basically like another ecosystem for these very small creatures. They probably wonder, like, how the hell did this get here? Like, why is it here? And things along that
Yeah,
nature.
it came from the gods
Right.
in the sky.
The gods dropped it for us. They're blessing us, you know?
Yeah.
That type of shit. And it's like, dude, I also feel that applies to us. Like,
For sure.
in the same perspective. Like, dude, we don't know why or how or when or a lot of these things that happen in our life, but it could literally just be the next guy up
Yeah.
just fucking puppeteering us, you know what I mean? Pulling the strings and...
just fucking accidentally dropping a tomato, you know, like a proverbial tomato.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it very much feels. Again, it's like fractals. You know, it's the same thing in different levels and different scales.
Yes.
It's like, you know, I described like this image. The video that I got is like like cells. You have cells in our body, right?
Yep.
And each cell has their own job and their own task and their own thing, and they probably have families and their own shit going on.
Right.
Ants have their own families and shit going on.
Absolutely.
That's nuts. I didn't know that. They're a hive mind, but they have their own families. They have their own homes.
Yeah.
In the ant farm.
Like
system.
little bust off little.
They have their own shit. They have their own jobs. They have their own tasks. They like take their own like rest breaks and shit.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. So like cells in our body, they're individual, but they have their own jobs, they have their own tasks, they have their own things.
Yes.
Similar to humans. So then you get bigger, and then you go from cells to humans, and humans are very similar. Now cells don't know that they're, who knows if they do or don't, but for all we know, they don't know that they're in a bigger thing.
Right.
We are the universe to them.
Yes.
We're like a whole universe to them, right?
Yes.
Like I am a universe to my own cells.
That is
you
the
are
all.
to yours.
Yes, the Almighty.
All they could know, you know, for what we know about them, you know, unless they've got some crazy telescopes that just fucking venture.
Right.
Pop out of my ear telescope, you know, venture, looking at other shit. But like, for all we know, they don't know that they're in a conscious entity, right? And they very well could be conscious themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, in a conscious thing. So then you get into a bigger, you scale that up another level. We are like cells on this planet. We have our own tasks and our own jobs and our own things.
Yes.
We are conscious, and we very well could be in a conscious thing in itself, which is Earth. You know, Earth could be conscious. It very well vibrates at its own frequency. It's alive. It's basically like a child for its age, and it's growing, and it has its own thing. It has its own vibrational and electromagnetic frequencies. That very well could be conscious. So we very well could be like cells on the planet.
Dude, I love it.
And then you have planets and a solar system, and then you have solar system, and then you have a galaxy.
Right.
And the galaxy, so each planet could or stars could be like cells in a galaxy, and the galaxy could be conscious. Each planet could be conscious in a giant consciousness that is the galaxy. The galaxy could be conscious. And then you have a supercluster of galaxies.
Right.
And each of those galaxies are conscious in this giant supercluster of galaxies, and the supercluster is conscious. And you just keep going, and then you go to the universe, and the universe itself could be conscious.
Yes.
And then you go even more to the multiverse. Now you've got infinite universes. Each one of those are conscious, and with the greater whole, the multiverse in itself could be conscious. It's just levels and levels and levels and levels of consciousness.
Yes.
Each one is conscious in its own way, depending on like its senses. Basically, like what it senses, it's able to feel and understand its surroundings. Now, a planet, it has different senses than us, but it very well could have senses.
Absolutely.
You know, just in a different way. Maybe it's an energy thing. Maybe it's an electromagnetic thing.
Right.
You know, it's really fascinating. But at the end of the day, we are just as connected to the universe as anything else. Like, we are made of stardust. Like, we're made of the elements of the whole universe.
Yeah.
So we're all interconnected in this whole thing. So to access it, it's almost like looking within. You know, it's like if you really want to see the deepest levels of the universe, you just have to look into the deepest levels of yourself, because you're made of the same thing.
Word.
You're made of the same elements of it. It's really fucking trippy.
It
but
is.
It makes sense.
It does,
It
dude.
kind of makes sense, you know? It's not like it doesn't make sense at all. It makes sense more than it doesn't make sense.
100% agree.
It's really interesting. It's trippy as fuck, but it's like there's so many levels and layers, and then you've got dimensions, and that's just a whole other thing.
Right.
But it's like in these dimensions, you know, in the third and fourth dimension, it makes sense.
It really does.
It's a trippy thing, but it's fractals. You know,
Word.
it's just fractals and fractals and fractals and fractals, and we're all like this. Everything is the same, just in different scales.
Right.
In higher scales, in small, like in the micro, in the macro. It's the same patterns. Like you see the same patterns over and over. The Fibonacci sequence. You see the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over. It's so interesting.
It really is, and dude, it really, dude, it gets so deep. You can, like you said, there's just so many levels to it.
It's almost infinite.
It really is, and like all the things that you just described, like you were kind of, I like the relation about your cells in your body, and then to the the universe, multiverse, bro. It could literally be like everything that we see as like the world and our everything could just be the big toe of a.
Right.
Like, bro, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. Yeah, there's a good Simpsons episode on that. Did you see that? It was like the whole universe was on like the head of Homer.
Oh, really?
It was like on his head or something, or on his finger, or on on one piece of him. The whole there's this whole universe happening, and everything's going on, and all this shit. And then in the end, it's just like on the thumb or something of Homer.
That's awesome.
Homer Simpson, yeah.
I didn't see. That one.
But it's like, yeah, like that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That. And then you've got like Rick and Morty, where Rick is just creating universes to like power his fucking spaceship and shit.
Love Rick and Morty.
But again, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting.
Well, it's very interesting. It's also like depending on your perspective and your your own personal opinions and whatnot. Some people are going to look at you slightly nutty, right? Like, I don't believe that at all. But other people are going to be like, yeah, dude, that's entirely possible. And at the end of the day, none of us really know. But as with many other things, you just have to be open-minded.
Yeah.
You know? Because you're not going to learn a thing until you really open up to it. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if one day we find out that some, if not all, of that is true. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not that far-fetched. It really isn't.
It's really not. I mean, it's I don't know, people that look at shit negative, like, it's just, if we have no idea, how can you say no?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's just one thing about that. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting, but like dreams, those were great stories. I love those stories.
Oh, awesome.
I can't imagine it's just trippy, you know? They go to sleep or you get in a coma, or you get fucking knocked out for like a few seconds.
Right.
And you just have a whole life. Like and it's not like there's I mean, maybe there is like specialists in regards to like, yeah, I'm a specialist in, helping people that have lived lives, when they get knocked out for 5 seconds. Like, there aren't many of those. I'm sure. So how do you deal with that? I would imagine the first thing that came to my mind was like ketamine therapy. That might help.
Right, like a reset kind of.
Yep. Or reset.
Yep.
Maybe some MDMA assisted psychotherapy.
Absolutely.
Aside from that, I don't know. A lot of blow, maybe some hookers.
Yeah, right.
That usually solves a lot of my problems.
We'll straighten you right out.
No.
No, but dude, like, especially, I mean, like with that guy's story, it sounded like that was kind of like his dream, like to, obviously grow up, have his kids, have the woman, the house. Like, that's
Yeah.
what we all aspire for, you know?
Yep. It's like his brain gave him the dream that he always wanted.
Right.
To kind of just allow him to get through whatever situation that he was in temporarily.
Right.
It was just a long dream.
Yeah.
And it was too emotional.
And hella detailed and like, yeah, dude.
It was just too much. It's almost like his brain couldn't quite. It's like the emotion gauge.
Yep.
It set it a little too high.
Right.
And because with dreams, it depends, you know. Actually, dude, I had a crazy. You want to hear a fucked up dream?
Absolutely.
It wasn't even a bad dream, which is kind of a weird thing to say. I don't really have many like nightmare-y. I don't think I've had one in a very long time that I can remember.
Word.
Dude, I had a fucking dream. It was so like I still remember it, and it's
Yeah.
been like a week or two.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's like it had a lot of emotion to it. So
Yeah.
in this dream, two of these. So I'm with my dad, my stepmom, and I think my sister, and we're in like this. Kind of like like a foresty kind of place, right?
Okay.
We're walking around, and there's two vehicles, right? There's one in the back and there's one in the front. And the one in the front, so my family gets in the one in the back. Also, my stepmom, her two parents, her dad and her stepmom, her dad's wife, they get into this car in the front.
Okay.
Now, there's quicksand in
Shit.
front of the car. Mm-hmm. Like that car is going into the quicksand, like very slowly.
But it's already going.
It's going in.
Yep.
And they know that.
But they still got in?
And they get into it. They go into the car. Like they're trying to kill themselves.
Oh.
Like they're trying to kill themselves. And now they're very old. Now, in real life, they're dead.
Okay.
They're not here anymore.
Right.
But in the dream, they were alive.
Yep.
So I'm like, no, you're not getting in the
Yeah,
car.
yeah, fuck
I'm not
outta here,
letting this
come on.
happen.
Right.
Now, a part of me is like, listen, if they want to kill themselves, who the fuck am I
Right. You don't know what they got going on, or
to rob them of? I'm never gonna. I don't feel like I'm in a position to tell, like, especially an old person who's near death, that like you can't. Like, you have the right to leave this place whenever the fuck you want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
As we all should.
No, yeah, nobody should be forcing people
No.
to stay in a place
No.
where they're like, at the same time, like if you're young.
But it goes the other way too, though. Like in real life, like how we like the punishment. This is sorry to get off topic, but
No,
it
you're
just,
good.
dude, like how. Let's just say I'm a murderer, right? Mm-hmm. And I kill you. Mm-hmm. I get caught. Mm-hmm. I go to jail, then I go to court, and they sentence me. Mm. The sentence commonly is either life in prison,
Yeah.
or
Death. Yeah.
And it's like, it's weird because I have children, and this is how I relate it. So, when you have young children, whatever your house or your family rules or your values kind of dictate how you live, right? Mm-hmm. And so in our house, we never spanked the kids, right?
Yeah.
Like when
you
they're
only beat the shit out of them.
yeah, lock them up, chain them up, no food, drag them behind the car.
No
that type
spank though.
Right, exactly. But it's just so weird. So like my whole thing is I was raised and I was paddled, I was spanked, whatever, yada yada yada. But I don't necessarily agree with the whole paddling thing. Do I think there's a time and a place? Yes, absolutely. But generally speaking, so like you have a couple of kids running around the house, one takes a toy from the other's like, hell with that, and just hauls off and whacks them, right? Mm. And then the other kid starts crying, they come running to you, daddy, 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 or mommy, 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 so-and-so just hit me. And a common reaction to that would be for them to be paddled, right? At least in my time period when I grew up, right? Mm-hmm. And I just always found it funny that you're giving the same punishment for the crime that they did.
Yeah,
so
the
like,
eye for eye.
Right, you hit them, so I'm going to hit you back. Like, that's not really the best way to teach someone, I don't think. And it kind of relates the same way. So, like, if you kill somebody, we're just going to kill you too. I don't believe that anyone has the authority to take a life from someone. It's a gray area for sure, but
It's tricky because
I also don't think they deserve to be out walking around free and living their life to the fullest or anything.
yeah, but also like you're holding them in prison forever.
right.
Like, that could potentially even be worse.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I think it is.
It is tricky. That's a tricky one.
It is.
I don't know what to make of that.
But that's what it made me think of.
I kill people all the time, so I don't really care that much.
Throw them in the hole.
It doesn't affect me. But dude, it was such a trippy dream because
Yeah.
it was so real, and they made up their mind.
Yep. They're getting in that car.
We're getting in the car, and the quicksand's going, and I'm like, no, you're not doing this. And my whole family goes into their car, like to leave.
They're just like, fuck it.
And yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not leaving. Well, not my family. Like, you
Yeah.
guys aren't. You're not. You can't do this. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And but again, in the corner of my mind, it's like you can't really stop them. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do as much as I can to like. It was just.
Which is fair. Logical.
Dude, the visual was so weird though, man.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm seeing this car, and it's like a quarter of the way in.
Yep.
And they open the doors, and they get in, and they close the doors, and they're just like ready.
Like, waiting. We're going.
It was just so. It was so surreal, because it's very clearly like
Yeah. It's
going in, and you're gonna, and I'm like, this is the weirdest fucking thing ever, man. It was.
That is weird.
It was such a strange visual, because it's like it was just so weird, and I'm like, so then I'm like, okay, and I opened the door,
Yep.
and then I made sure that like the doors were unlocked, because then I'm like, okay, because I kept getting videos like while I was there,
Yep.
watching them, of like when they get to a certain point, now you can't get out.
Right.
Now you're fucked. Like, because some people, they make a decision and then halfway in they're like, whoops.
Changing my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with this, it's like you get in there and you're fucked.
Yes.
So like, then I'm like, all right, well, at least the doors will be locked. So, I kept getting the video of like it filling, of it like it engulfing the whole thing, you know,
Right.
covering the whole thing.
Yep.
And then them not being able to get out, and then them being fucked.
Like
and
trying at the last minute.
yeah, those are the videos that were playing in my dream.
Awful.
And I'm like, oh no, man. Well, and then I'm like, all right, well, at least let me, because I got to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to change their minds. And I'm not
Can't
gonna
stop 'em.
Yeah. So then I'm like, all right, I'll at least make sure that the doors are unlocked, so that at the last minute, if they want to, they can get the fuck out.
Yeah, there's still an option.
So that's what I did. They got in, and again, it was just I'm standing here and I'm looking at them in the car going down, and it was just so strange, because they were like so determined.
I know that shit fucked with you, bro.
It was so weird. Didn't really fuck with me. It was just weird.
That is weird.
It was just a weird, because they weren't that close to me. It's not like it was
Okay.
my grandmother or it's not like it was either side of my family.
Yeah.
It was my stepmom's. Now I knew them, and they're good people, but it didn't have the same effect as like
Sure.
it would with, didn't really affect me like that. It was just strange.
It is strange.
Like, it was very, very odd of these people committing suicide
Yeah,
in
yeah.
front of you via like one of the worst ways I could ever think of.
Terrible.
Kind of. Like,
Yeah.
Not like the worst, but like
That's awful.
you're in quicksand,
Slow.
man. Yeah, very slow. I guess you would suffocate, so maybe it wouldn't be that bad unless it broke the windows.
Right, now you got like pressure
And then
on
you
it.
drowned, and it was weird. So yeah, then my stepmom is like, she basically told me, just leave them, just let them go, and I made sure the door was unlocked, and then I'm like, all right, and right when I get in the car, somebody said they relocked the doors or something, like
Yep.
child lock or something.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, oh, come on.
Right.
And then I like woke up, and it was just like, it was like,
That's the other thing.
it's trippy.
That is trippy as fuck, dude. Why is it, and I don't know if it always happens, but I don't dream a whole lot. But when I do, I dream.
You don't remember your dreams a lot.
Correct. That's accurate. But I always seem to wake up at like the pivotal moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Could be like an environment, like a stimuli thing. You know, like that thermometer I always talk about. Like
Sure.
You get, boom, boom, you wake up.
Yep.
It's like there's enough stimuli that gets released that it just fucking zings you up.
Yeah.
Could be that. Could be a lot of things. It could be like tune in for more next time. You know,
Next week's episode.
Or maybe you're I don't know. But I have that all the time.
Yeah.
And I want to go back.
I know.
I want to fucking go back. It's like a tease.
Yes, it is a tease, and you can't.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I had a thing when I did like a lot of blues and shit.
Yep.
Where I figured the dreams out, and there was like, so I had like 5 dreams, in that night that I remembered, and I wrote them all down, and it turns out that there was like it was a whole story. There was like an overarching story.
Yeah, yeah.
And each dream, because some dreams I'm like, oh, I feel like I've been here before.
Yes.
And this is what I realized was, I had been there in one of the other in like all of the other dreams.
Whoa.
So, and
that's awesome.
Sometimes it's not all of them, but like that's where it came from.
Yeah.
It was like, now I'm sure like in the future, maybe you have recurring dream where you've been there before again. But this was very clearly like, oh, I'm in like the 3rd dream.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I've been here before. Yeah, it's because I was in here the 1st and the 2nd dream.
Right.
And I just didn't know from the 3rd dream. But there was this overarching, I wrote it in one of my books. I really got to go back and look and see which one it was.
Sounds like it'd be interesting, bro.
It was very fascinating. There's an overarching like theme.
Theory or something. Yeah, theme.
And then dude, it was like a perfect movie. It was literally like a perfect movie. And it had the overarching theme with the narratives and shit, characters, like it's like a perfect fucking screenplay.
That's wild.
It was insane. And it's only because I remembered all of them, or at least the 4 or 5 of them,
Yep.
that I had the ability to understand, oh, this is, all of them connect to one greater thing.
Yep.
And that's, dude, it was really trippy. It was like, I never realized how sophisticated the dreams were.
That's
You know
dope.
what I mean?
Yes.
They're like chapters. Like each time you go back in,
Yeah.
it's like another chapter into this fucking movie.
Dude.
And then you dive deeper into the next chapter.
Yes.
It's like, what, man? That's fucking trippy.
So cool.
Yeah, very cool.
So cool, man.
It's like way more intricate than I'd ever imagined
Yes.
a dream would be.
And you're doing it without like even trying.
Yeah, you're
it's
not
all
even-
subconscious.
Yeah, it's like doing it for you.
Or are you not?
Yeah. Who's controlling that? What's controlling that? What's really happening? Fucking, it's probably us in a higher dimension hooking us up with fucking.
I think it has
sick
to be
dreams.
something like that, man.
That's that's where I'm getting at closer and closer to every time is that we are higher dimensional beings, and we're experiencing this life, this flavor of existence for
Yeah.
a temporary period of time, and maybe we're hooking ourselves up with different like level up, attribute
Right,
kind of
right.
things, like the staff.
Yeah, you're
of
pumping your
this.
stats.
Yeah,
Yep.
upping your stats and giving us like different tools to navigate our realm.
Word.
To get to certain places, but we can't use cheat codes,
Right.
because then it's too easy. So we will give like little hints every once in a while, like in like one of the movies. It was like, I forget what it was, something Titans or whatever. It's one of those where like the gods can help the people, but not totally.
Okay.
So
yeah,
they'll
yeah,
give them like these hints, and they'll give them these things,
Yep.
and then eventually Zeus gave him like a sword or a
I know what you're talking about.
bow or
Percy
something.
Jackson, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
dude. Fantastic.
Well, there's that. There are a bunch of them.
Sure.
It's a common thread.
Yep.
It's a very common thread, but it's I mean, what is that? Where does that come from?
Right.
Where do those stories come from? I'm sure there's some truth in that in some way. Who are those
Absolutely.
gods? Like, where does that ideology, not ideology, but like, where does that storyline kind of thing come from?
Yeah.
It's there for a reason. It's been there forever for a reason. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some deep knowledge and truth like intertwined within
100%.
them, because those are the best stories.
They
too.
are. They are.
It's like we can relate to them on a deeper level what is that deeper level?
Right.
You know, like how, why. A lot of it we don't quite know. The hero's journey is always something that we can relate to so
Yeah.
deeply. We don't really know why. You know, it just feels cool. But like, I'm sure there are levels to it that like that make more sense if we were to actually like, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, dude, I truly feel like one day we're gonna figure it out. Because, like you said, like you're missing a few pieces, but you kind of get the image anyway.
I feel like we're getting close.
You know what I mean? Yeah, dude.
I feel like the more we talk and the more we get into it and the more technology
Oh,
fucking
absolutely.
accelerates, the closer. Then again, we don't fucking need technology really. I mean, so far with if we just have the technology here with psychedelics and we just keep talking to like smart people and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think we could probably get pretty close.
Absolutely.
You know, DMT, fucking mushrooms, like.
Dude, they open up different pathways in your brain, man.
Yeah.
100%. It makes you more open to receiving whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think we're close. I think, dude, I mean, I think that theory of flavors. I think I would love to, but then again, it's just like good luck proving that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's one of those things where it's like you can't really prove.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, not yet.
But, I mean, there's so many things in the world, like, I know you're not huge on religion, and I'm really not either, but I think it relates in the fact of, you know, it's a game of faith, right? So, like, there's these books that have been around for God knows how long. They all vary a little bit, but they all tie back into the same story. Mm-hmm. You know, if you read the room a little, let's say, or whatever, for lack of better words. But nobody can prove it.
Right.
Nobody can prove it, but also you can't disprove it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Except for like the flood.
Right.
That's pretty provable.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But
you're right.
But no, you're right. A lot of it is just faith.
Right.
You just believe it
you
on
just gotta
faith.
believe it, right. You know what I mean? And people are obviously open to that, so, you know, someday down the road, people might be more open to it, and then, like you said, the more we talk about it, and people are more open to it, like, you're gonna figure it out, man. Mm-hmm. We collectively will at least have a much better handle on it.
No, I'm figuring it out myself. Fuck everybody.
I got this shit.